Welcome. This is a lesson that I want to go over for both parents and students about how to conjugate regular verbs. This is essential for students to be able to know how to do as we start going into further lessons. I want to give a particular emphasis and make sure that all the seventh graders know it. I believe that my eighth graders should know this very well by now. However, this is a lesson for review. So, what does it mean to conjugate? So, as you're going to see, regular verbs, which is going to account for about 75%, if not more, of verbs in the present tense and almost all tenses, are going to follow a rule. We're going to take off an ending and we are going to add an ending that matches a pronoun. So let's take a look at what we need to do. So here's the first step. How do you conjugate a verb? So step one, take the infinitive. The infinitive is the dictionary form of the verb. So if you were to look this verb up, this is how it's going to look in a dictionary. It's going to have an AR, ER, or IR ending. So when you see AR, ER, or IR, I believe 99% of the time that is going to indicate that it is a verb. So here we have our example. Cantar, to sing. So usually you'll just see the verb to sing to sing in English in the dictionary, or just sing. That would be the dictionary form, and that's the infinitive in English. Cantar, as you can see, ends in AR. So that's how you will look it up. It does not have a time, and it does not have a pronoun or noun attached to it. So how do we do that? So first, we're going to drop the AR, ER, or IR. In this case, it's the AR at the end of the verb. So here is the stem. So we have CANT. Now we need to add the correct conjugation to the end that matches the pronoun or the noun. So I want to show you AR verbs here. Now please note, when we want to indicate I sing, we're going to put the O. You informal. So when you're addressing someone you know or someone that you do not have to be formal with, you're going to add AS, cantas. He, she, usted, which is the formal if you were talking to a boss, someone elderly, someone you want to show respect. Note here that you just need to add the A, or in the other cases, you're just going to drop the R for this one. So this will also include singular nouns. So if you need to talk about someone, Señor M sings, Señor M canta, la clase canta, so the class sings. Notice here's where we conjugate in English. With all of these regular verbs, we just say I sing, you sing. However, for he, she, it, we need to put sings. We or nosotros, we're going to put amos at the end. Please ignore vosotros. Vosotros is second person plural, so it's kind of like saying you guys, and we would add ice to the end, cantais. However, I'm not going to put vosotros or its conjugations on the quiz because it only seems to confuse students, and it's only used in Spain or very formal texts in Latin America. So students aren't going to see it as much, and it always has an odd accent, and it always seems to confuse students. Now, if you're referring to multiple people, so Julia and Romeo, let's say, cantan, they sing. And also, we use, instead of vosotros, we use ustedes. So that is the plural formal you. So instead of saying, if I'm addressing a group of people as you, I will usually in English just say you. Or in more colloquial or informal language, we might say you guys or y'all. So ustedes here, we're just going to put it for you formal or you plural. And that's going to end in an, so cantan. So here is a chart. So I'm going to show this chart to students again and again and again. These 6 boxes on the left column is going to be the singular. On the right column is going to be the ones that are plural. First person plural is going to be we. So John and I, all right, or we. Cantan, so here they sing. You people formal sing. Okay, so this chart, they're going to need to know automatically when they see 6 boxes, 2 columns in 3 rows, they need to know that that is for conjugation. So here are the AR verbs. Next, we have an IR verb. So vivir is the word for to live. So you might have heard people scream in movies "Viva la Revolución," and that actually works in both French and Spanish. So again, we're going to see vivo, vives, vive, vivimos, vivis, and viven. And finally, ER verbs. So comer, we're going to drop the ER, so we're going to have COM, and then we're going to add yo como, tú comes, él, ella, or usted come, comemos, nosotros comáis, and comen. So here's another thing I want to do and show you. Please note that for all of the words that end in O, they're going, excuse me, for all the verbs when they're conjugated that end in O, that's going to be yo. We're going to have words that end in AS, ES for ER or IR verbs. Note that when it ends in S and not MOS or IS, these are all going to be two conjugations. Now, it might be a little bit confusing. However, for AR verbs and ER verbs, for he, she, usted, all we need to do is just drop the R. Now, for IR, we're going to follow the rules for ER verbs here. Nosotros, we do need to remember whether it is an IR, ER, or AR, ER, or IR verb because they're going to correspond amos, emos, and emos. And then finally, if it ends in an N, it's going to be ellos, ellas, or ustedes. So an, en, or en. So just to review, how to conjugate a regular verb, we're going to remove the AR, the ER, or the IR from the verb. We're going to add the correct conjugation, and we need that to match with the noun or the pronoun, which we call in Spanish the sustantivo, which is basically the subject or the person doing the action in the sentence. So once again, please give me feedback. I hope this lesson helps, but just to go back and review, make sure that students are making the connections with the following pronouns and how they correspond to AR, ER, and IR verbs. I particularly encourage students to study the infinitive because once they have the infinitive, they'll be able to drop the AR, ER, and IR endings and to be able to conjugate it no matter what for those. So thank you again, and I hope this helps. Please give me feedback.